Hey everybody, Miss Schweitzer here. Today we're going to be talking about Thursday's lesson, which is lesson 105. So the only thing that we're going to need for today's lesson is this worksheet, which is lesson page 105. Alright guys, so in this lesson we're going to be talking about shapes and how they relate to fractions and area. So up here in our example, what did they give us is a little rectangle and it's on a piece of grid paper. And what it is telling us is they want us to divide the rectangle into 6 parts with equal area. We're going to write the fraction that names the area of each part of the whole. So what they tell us to do is to draw lines to divide the rectangle into 6 parts with equal area. And we can use this grid to help us, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look right over here at my box and I'm going to say, how can I divide this into 6 equal pieces? Well, first I can just look and see how many rows it has. It has 1, 2, 3 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and I need to divide it into 6 parts. So I can go ahead and just maybe draw in 6 lines. Well, I drew in 5 lines and that made 6 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I divided my shape into 6 pieces, and what each individual piece is, it represents one part of that 6. So that means that each part is 1/6 of the shape's whole. And then we need to write the fraction that names the whole area. So if we divide it into 6 pieces, that means the whole fraction is 6 out of 6 pieces. Let's go ahead and look at these two down here. So again, it wants us to draw lines to divide the shape. So here might be our key. We might need to do some division in some of these. But for now, we're just going to look at our shape. We have another rectangle here, and it wants us to divide it into 4 equal parts. So one way I can do that is I can look at my shape and see if there's any way I can just simply draw some lines. So let's see. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 1, 2, 3 rows. So do you think I can go ahead and just draw my lines like this to give me 4 equal sections? I think so. Let's try it. Do those look pretty equal to you? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And because I divided my shape into 4, each section is just one part of my whole. So each part is one of how many pieces? We have 4 pieces, so we put that on the bottom. That's our denominator. Ooh, kind of funky 4. There we go. So each part is 1/4 of the whole shape's area, because I have 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each part makes up one section. Okay, let's try this one over here. I need to divide this square into 8 equal parts, and I can kind of look at it and try to draw some lines. I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So I can't draw lines this way or this way. That would make it really simple like this. But what I can do, because I'm dividing this into parts, I could count how many squares there are and divide it by 8. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I have 16 squares inside this bigger square, and I'm going to divide it into 8 parts. So what I can do is something that looks like this. I can take 16, divide it by 8, and I get 2. So I need to make it so 2 squares are grouped together. That means I want to have these 2 squares together, and I want to have these 2 squares together. All right, so what I could do probably is, draw a line down the middle, and that gives me room to draw more lines, and let's see how many we end up with. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I have 8 equal parts. So if I have 8 parts, each part is what fraction of the whole shape's area? Each part, if I only color in one, that's 1/8. If I color in any of them, that's just 1/8. So each part is 1/8 of the whole shape's area. Let's turn the page over. Uh-oh, I see we're gonna get into some funky looking shapes. Let's keep going. All right, now it wants us to draw lines to divide the shape into equal parts. Based on the fraction that they give us. So this gives us 1/3, so it wants us to divide this rectangle. So it wants us to divide this rectangle into 3 parts. Do you guys see how we can do that? I have 1, 2, 3 columns, so I can just go 1 and 2, and that gives me 1, 2, 3 parts. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 says 1/8, so it wants me to divide this into 8 parts. Do you guys think we could do it like we did over there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do have 8 columns, so let's go ahead and draw our line straight up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that gives us 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Let's see this one. Now it wants us to divide our shape in half. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 squares that make up our area of our rectangle, and we need only half of it. So I could do a division problem like I did over here. I could say I have 8 squares, and I want to divide it into 2 parts. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so I need 4 squares on each in each group. So let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to make up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I have 2 parts that are equal. I have 1 part and 2 part, and that makes up 1/2. Okay, let's look at these. I think we're gonna have to do some counting because these aren't exactly rectangles and squares, right? They kind of look funky. So let's see. It wants me to divide this into 4 equal parts, and we're going to write each part as a unit fraction. Okay, so do you guys see a way right off the bat that we can divide this into 4 equal parts? I sure don't. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to count each square to see what our area is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if my area is 12, and I want to divide it into 4 equal parts, I'm going to divide it by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'm going to make each of my sections, each of my equal parts, contain 3 squares. So you guys could do it anyway, but I think I'm going to do it like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How about 1, 2, 3? Which leaves me with one more section right here. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, and they each contain 1, 2, 3 squares. So our fraction would be 1/4, because I divided these into 4 parts. Number 5. I want us to divide this shape into 6 equal parts. Can you guys guess how we're going to do it? I don't know. I think I'm going to have to count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if we have 12 squares that make up our area, and we're going to divide it into 6 equal parts, 12 divided by 6 is 2. So each of my sections have to contain 2 squares. And remember, you can draw it however you want as long as you have 2 squares in each section. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now I have 6 equal sections, and the area is 1/6. Because I have 1 section here that makes up the 6, and 1 here, right? So I divide it into 6 equal parts. Number 6. Now we're going to divide this shape into 3 equal parts. Let's see how many squares we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So again, I'm going to take a 9 and I'm going to divide it into 3 equal parts. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So each of my sections has to have 3 squares. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Draw my line right there. 1, 2, 3. Line right there. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 1/3. Because each section is 1 part of my third. Now let's go down here and solve some problems. Ooh, now we don't have a grid, so let's see what we're gonna have to do. Robert divided a hexagon into 3 equal parts. Show how he might have divided the hexagon. Write the fraction that names each part of the whole you divided. So how could we divide this into just 3 parts? If I drew my lines up and down like that from corner to corner, that wouldn't be equal because this kind of would make a triangle shape. We'd have a long rectangle in the middle. So we're going to divide this hexagon into 3 equal parts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought it was really hard too, but I think I found a way. You guys ready? So we're going to find the middle of our hexagon. And we're going to draw a line here. And a line here. Now we kind of have a diamond shape. We're going to draw a line straight across. So now we have 3 diamond shapes, or 3 rhombuses, and they are equal parts. So if I divided our hexagon into 3 equal parts, what's our name for each section? What's our fraction name? Our fraction name is 1/3, because each piece is 1/3 of our hexagon, right? If I cover up these 2, this is 1 piece of a third, this is 1 piece of our 3, and this one is 1 piece of our 3. So each piece is 1/3. And let's look at our last one, number 8. Show how we might divide the shape into 8 equal parts. What fraction names the area of each part of the divided shape? So again, I'm going to say let's go ahead and count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Let's go ahead and go down here and do some division. 24, remember that's how many squares we had. 24 divided by 8. I think 8 goes into 24 3 times. So each of our section has to have 3 squares in it. Let's start down here. I see 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna draw my line. How about 1, 2, 3? Draw another line. Ooh. See 1, 2, 3. Let's do this one. Oh, I see another one over here. 1, 2, 3. And remember, you guys can draw your shapes any way you want as long as each shape has 3. Let's do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now each of my squares have 8. And remember, we need to see, do we have 8 parts? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what is the name of each divided part? We divided this into 8 parts, so each part is 1 piece of 8 or 1/8. All right, guys, that's it. No homework tonight and no book work. So remember, if you have any questions or you need any help, make sure to let your teacher know. Talk to you guys later. Bye.